Okay, so in this video, I want to talk to you about a simple AI pipeline for creating an AI film-like project. So what I actually want to use as a case study is the online viral trailers that we've been putting out recently. So my hope is that you can watch this video and understand more or less what a process would be like to put one of these together yourself. Now, you do not in any way need to follow along with the video. So you don't have to download the applications or create your own project as I'm going from step by step here. I merely want to show you just kind of what a process is like. And in the next module, I actually have a checklist that you can download for putting together a very simple AI project. I also want you to know that in the rest of this course, I'm going to show you how to do much more advanced things with artificial intelligence. This is really the most simple version of putting one of these projects together. Okay, so let's get started. It always starts with an idea. And when it comes to creating great ideas, the best AI tool that we have currently is ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is an amazing tool that basically is a text-based virtual assistant. So in this instance, what I did here is I typed in, what are some fun trailer mashup ideas that blend a cool directorial style with an interesting world? And right off the bat, you can see that one of the ideas here is Wes Anderson's Star Wars, which was the subject of our first big trailer. So after it gets done coming up with all of these ideas, you could have it make more ideas, you could have it blend other ideas together. We'll talk about all of this stuff in a future video. You can then have it expand. So I simply asked ChatGPT to expand on idea number 2 and create a trailer with no voices. So it basically created all of the dialogue for a trailer. Now, ChatGPT is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. So you basically always need to go in and edit the script in some way. So I'm going to copy the text here, and inside of Google Drive, or I'm sorry, inside of Google Chrome, you can just type in docs.new, and it will create a new Google Doc very quickly. And you can just paste the text. I'll paste without formatting there. And you can go in and edit the script as you see fit. You can, change the dialogue, change the visual information, just whatever. And once you get the script to a place that you like, then you can go back over to ChatGPT, upload your script, and say, can you create a shot list describing what each shot will have? I want it to be 2 columns with the first shot being the shot number, or with the first column being the shot number and the second being the description. And it will create a shot list. And the shot list is great because you can use this whenever you are going into your image-based softwares in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this table here. And inside of Google Chrome, you can also type in sheets.new, and that will create a new Google Sheet. And I can paste it into here. And obviously the formatting is pretty bad, so you can just reset all of the formatting there. And I always like turning on text wrapping because I hate it whenever the text goes really long like that. Cool. So again, you should go in here and customize this. This is a creative curation process. It's not a creative replacement process. So, changing up certain design ideas, like this says pastel colored Millennium Falcon. Maybe we wanted a pastel colored X-Wing with a different style background. So again, you just use your own creative imagination to put together the shot list. So once you have the shot list put together, it's time to go create your actual art. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, let's say, this one right here, pastel colored Millennium Falcon. And I'm going to go over to Midjourney, which utilizes Discord, and I'm going to create some artwork. So I've already been pulling some artwork. Basically, the way this works, it's super easy. You just type in imagine and then paste a prompt in here. Now I'm going to show you how to do all of this in much, much more detail in a future video. But for now, basically you just type it in, hit enter, and it will create your artwork. It takes about 30 seconds, so get ready for a lot more time jumping. Okay, so you can see that it spit out some artwork here. Obviously, this is like really stylized in like an artwork kind of way, but it looks really cool. For a cinematic context, we would add in tags and specific instructions about, for example, like the camera that it's using and the cinematic qualities that we'd want to see rather than something like a painting. But you get the idea. Basically, you go to Midjourney to create the artwork. Here's one shot that we have. I guess this is kind of a Tatooine sunset image. Here's some other artwork that we've pulled for the Star Wars example. You can see that obviously we would want to customize and update certain things, but this is a pretty cool start to our Star Wars journey here. So the next thing that we'd want to do is actually pull the voiceover. So we want to have some voices in our project. And there's quite a few tools that you can use. I'll show you 11 Labs. 11 Labs produces what I believe to be the most realistic voices. So really all you have to do with 11 Labs is just copy and paste in some text. They have some pre-made voices here, and then you can adjust certain settings and then generate a voice. So I'm going to go ahead and generate a voice here, and let's listen to what it sounds like.
In a galaxy meticulously arranged on the farthest planet from the bright center of the universe.
Okay, so you get the idea. The voice, it sounds fairly realistic. You may have to rerun it and do certain adjustments that I'll show you in a future video, but more or less, this is the process for getting the voiceover. So once you have all of your assets together, then you have to compile them together. So I use Premiere Pro, and I'll show you how to use Premiere Pro in this course, but you don't necessarily have to use Premiere Pro. You could use any other video editing application. I would recommend trying to use at least an intermediate level video editing application, as you may have to do certain techniques like masking and things like that, but I'll show you how to do that later in the course. So for now, you would basically just lay out your voiceover, you would lay out your images and create just kind of a rough slideshow version, essentially, of what you would want your video project to look like. Then you would add in some music. So there are many different music tools out there. There are some AI tools like Soundful that you could generate your own AI music. There are stock music libraries like Artlist, Soundstripe, and PremiumBeat.com. And there are also free options. So I'll show you one free option here. So Pixabay is a really cool site that they have free assets from video to music. It's really, really cool. Sound effects. And you can just type in, any sort of genre that you're looking for. I typed in cinematic and there's 7,200 tracks. So a lot of music to pick from. Some of it is not that bad. So you can download this music and use it inside of your project. So once you've added the music into your project and you've decided on your shot order, again, this is going to be a back and forth process. You'll probably get a shot in there and decide, oh no, I want something completely different. Go over to Midjourney, render out something new, and it's an iterative process. So it's not going to be just one step after another. You're probably going to have to backtrack a little bit, and that's totally fine. So what you would end up doing is you would want to up-res your images. So the images that come from Midjourney are typically only about 1,400 pixels wide, which is not wide enough to be HD or even close to being 4K. So to up-res your images, there's, again, many different tools. My favorite is the one from Topaz Labs, but that one costs a little money, so I'll show you a free version here. So there is a tool called bigjpeg.com, and it's super easy. All you have to do is select an image to up-res, and hit start. Now this tool takes about 30 seconds per image, so it's a little slow, but if you only have 10, 15 shots in your trailer or your video project, it's really not that big of a deal. Again, this is not the best tool in the world, but it will get the job done and it does up-res it pretty well. So then you would just download all of your up-resed images and replace them in your timeline. It would make them nice and sharp. And now it would be time to add in movement to your characters. So, Midjourney is giving us an image that's like flat like this, but we would actually want the face to move and for their eyes to blink, for their head to move around and to just generally give it a sense of realism. Now, there are, again, many different tools, but the one that we are going to use for this course, for quick movements, there are some tools that we'll use for advanced movements later. But for now, what we would do for quick movements is using a tool called ID. So DID is really cool. It basically converts images into moving video. You can upload audio, so you can literally have your character speak, and it will articulate the lip movements. And if you don't upload any audio and you just have some spacers in there, it will just have your character's head kind of move around, and their eyes will blink, so it kind of looks like they're a little alive here. So you can see this is our Han Solo mashup here, and he's kind of looking around. Kind of seems like he's alive, especially if you used it in a trailer and you would only see, a couple seconds. You wouldn't really know that he's not alive. So essentially, you would just upload and work with DID to create your character movements. And after you get the character movements, you would bring your video back into your timeline inside your video editing tool. Now, the problem is whenever you do this, you're going to have a watermark. So from DID, you're always going to have a watermark in the bottom corner. So you need to upload the high-res version of the previous image and actually mask out the edge here. So let me just turn off everything else. You can see that we have just a little mask just in the corner there that's covering up that watermark. And if this was moving video, there are other tools like Runway that you could use to mask out the moving aspects of the video to where it would just be realistic. But because this is a static shot, I was able just to use a quick image mask here. So once you've animated your people, now we want to animate our scenes. So for example, let's say in this project, I'll go to the very beginning here. And let's say that we wanted to animate this first shot here. Well, in order to do that, you'll probably want to use a tool like Adobe After Effects to go in and customize it, to really get meticulously into the details of how you would want your animation to look. But there is an online tool that can do really, really quick animation. So it's called Layapix, and Layapix is completely free. You don't even have to subscribe to use it, which is awesome. And all you have to do is go to Layapix and upload any image. So I'm going to upload just a quick image here. Let's use this quick shot we have of Tatooine. It takes just a few seconds, and you can see it's already parallaxing this image. So you can see it separated the background from the foreground, and there's just a lot of movement. And it's really cool because there's different animation styles that we'll cover all of this in a future video and show you how to add even more movement that's realistic. But again, this is a very, very quick way that you could add movement into your scene, especially if you're trying to just like previs and get an idea of what the movement actually would look like. So you can download these videos from Layapix and add them into your video editing timeline. So let's say that you wanted to animate a project further. So I'm going to hop over here to After Effects, and I want to show you a quick example. So these are two assets that I have. Basically what I did is I took a Midjourney image and I separated the foreground from the background. And now that may sound complicated, but it's actually crazy easy to do using a tool like Canva. So Canva has a lot of really interesting and easy to use AI tools. Now, they're not the most professional option. I'll show you how to use other professional options later in this course, but they are the fastest way to use these AI tools to fix things like backgrounds and object removals and things like that. So for example, let's say that we wanted to remove these X-wings from this background. Well, we could just go to Edit Photo and just select the background remover, and look how quickly it removed that background. Like that was literally less than a second and the background's gone. So very easy to use that tool. And then we also could remove the planes or the X-wings from this scene so that we have a blank background as well. And so they have a tool called the Magic Eraser. It works exactly like you would think. You literally just go in here and select all of the parts that you want erased from your scene, just like this. Click away, and again, it's only going to take just a couple of seconds, and it will erase the background. Looks like we have a little straggler there. Let me get that guy. And there you go. So you would never really have known that there were any X-wings in this scene. So you can export these images. Again, you would want to export them as transparent background images. So always making sure we have that transparent background set with a PNG. So PNG can support transparent backgrounds. And we download those, and now we're in After Effects. So in After Effects now, we have two different layers. We have a background layer and a foreground layer. After Effects is a compositing tool and an animation tool that we'll use later in this course, especially in week 3 and 4, to create some just more advanced movements. So what I want to do is just show you just how we could very quickly, just like this is the most easy animation possible. Let's say that we just want these X-wings to kind of scale up and move upwards just a little bit. Basically, I just set some quick keyframes, and now we can see that they are moving. It's creating just a general sense of movement in the scene. And we could do the same thing for the background. We could have the background start kind of low. And I don't know, we're kind of taking some inspiration from Top Gun here. The camera kind of tilts down as if they're kind of flying overhead. So we can scrub through here and see that they are moving. And again, in a future video, I'll show you how we can like animate the smoke to be moving here and clean up some of these harsh edges and things like that. But, you know, more or less, that's how you would put this project together. And I can show you like how quickly we could take this further. Like, for example, if we wanted to animate, let's say this guy over here, he's going to do a barrel roll. We literally can do that in just a matter of seconds. So let me just select this guy here. Move this right above his nose. And so I can just rotate him just like this. And you can see that the X-wing below is still there. That's no problem. We can cut him out just like that. And set our mask. Again, you don't have to be following along. I'm just kind of demonstrating here. So now we can have our X-wing do a barrel roll. And I want him to be in the background. There we go. So I can just rotate him. Just like that. And then I can even go in, and I'll show you in a future video how to do this even further, but we can really smooth out the animation so it looks a little more realistic. So and he's flying. Cool. So that's how we would do quick animation. Then we would export it and throw it all back into our video editing timeline. Then you would want to up-res the actual footage in the background. So you're going to have different resolutions. For example, from DID, you're not going to have a full HD. And then from After Effects, you may have a certain resolution. If you're using Layapix, you may have a certain resolution. And so you're going to want to up-res your video files if you want it to look super professional. You don't have to do this step, but especially if you're just sharing on social media. But if it's going to be something that's a little more cinematic that people want to watch, you want to up-res it. I use a tool called Topaz Video AI. Essentially, you just simply upload your video. It runs through the software, and then it spits out just higher res video on the back end, and it's really good. So then you would take the video, throw it back into your timeline. Your titles are added in. Then you would watch it back, do any last minute adjustments, and then you would export. Now, the cool thing is whenever you share this thing out on your channels, whether it's your YouTube channel or just social media channels, AI can actually write the descriptions for it. So I had AI write the description for our project here. Again, you'll want to update it and, change it to make sense for you. And then it also created, you can say, can you please create the tags for YouTube? And it created all of the tags for this project. So AI really can assist you with every step of the process. Again, this was just a quick overview about how you could put together a quick AI project, like, for example, the trailers that we put together. Hopefully this just kind of sheds some light into some simple workflows, and I'm excited to expand on more of these concepts in the coming weeks.